How women in Iceland achieved gender equality. Iceland stands as an inspiring global leader in gender equality, a beacon of hope and action for activists campaigning for change worldwide. Consistently ranked at the top of the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report, Iceland's success is not just a historical coincidence. It's the product of bold leadership, tireless activism, and unwavering collective willpower. The journey of Icelandic women is one of resilience, empowerment, and triumph, offering lessons in activism that cannot be ignored. This is a story worth sharing, a story to fuel hope, spark action, and bring about meaningful change. Achieving gender equity starts with a foundation built on courage and vision, and Iceland's early reforms are a testament to that. The story begins in the mid-1800s, a time when activism was a daring leap into the unknown. Icelandic women, inspired by movements in neighboring Nordic countries, began to organize and demand their rights during the 19th and early 20th centuries. This grassroots momentum laid the foundation for national transformation. Women's suffrage. In 1915, Iceland became one of the first countries to grant women over 40 the right to vote, a milestone for the global women's movement. The restriction was lifted in 1920, achieving full suffrage for all adult women and men. Activists, this moment demonstrates the power of persistence in the face of institutional inertia. Education and employment. Recognizing the transformative power of education, Iceland prioritized access for young girls by the late 19th century. This established a cultural belief that education was not only essential for women, but crucial for equitable societal advancement. Women began to break into professions like teaching and nursing, though they wrestled with wage disparities and job limitations. Women's organizations. Groups such as the Icelandic Women's Association set the stage for collective action. These feminist pioneers were an organized, vocal, and unstoppable force for change, proving that unity is a strategy, not just a mindset. Early Icelandic women showed that meaningful change happens when people come together in common cause. These movements weren't just about legislation, they were about societal transformation driven by the voices of the people. As activists today, your voices are your power. If there was one day that shook the pillars of inequality, it was October 24, 1975. Known as Kvennafrídagurinn, or the Women's Day Off, this was no ordinary event. It was a revolution without violence, a masterstroke of solidarity. On this day, 90% of Icelandic women boldly refused to work, cook, clean, or provide childcare, forcing the nation to confront the reality of their indispensable contributions. Economic disruption. Jobs went unfinished, schools were closed, and daily life ground to a halt. The strike's economic impact underlined women's critical role in sustaining Icelandic society. Public awareness. The strike spotlighted blatant inequalities, including wage gaps and the undervaluation of women's work. What once hid in plain sight could no longer be ignored. Global attention. The world watched in awe. This singular moment inspired a wave of feminist movements across the globe, teaching activists everywhere how strategic collective action can amplify their demands. The Women's Day Off wasn't just symbolic, it was transformative. This moment taught us that when marginalized groups refuse to comply with a broken system, they force those in power to listen. Activists, let this be a reminder. Your solidarity can transform societies, one bold action at a time. Iceland's feminist movement didn't just stop with rallies and demands. It transitioned from the streets into the halls of power. Women understood that to shape policy, their voices needed to echo in decision-making rooms. In 1980, Iceland shattered a monumental ceiling by electing Vigdís Finnbogadóttir as the world's first democratically elected female president. Not only a leader for Iceland, Vigdís became an inspiration for women worldwide. Her legacy lives on as a reminder of what women-led leadership can achieve. The establishment of the Women's Alliance in 1999 was another stroke of genius for Icelandic activists. It was a political party built around equality, emphasizing the power of a united vision in achieving legislative change. Today, Iceland boasts one of the highest rates of female parliamentary members globally. Representation changes the world. By ensuring diverse voices in leadership, policies shift to reflect everyone's lived experiences. Can you campaign for and elect leaders who stand for equality? Cultural change is indispensable, but legal structures cement the progress activists fight for. Iceland demonstrates how policies can dismantle entrenched inequalities. Valuing caregivers means valuing equality. Iceland's progressive parental leave system hasn't merely encouraged fathers to take leave, it has revolutionized the idea of shared responsibility in caregiving. With both parents entitled to 6 months of leave, 3 months each are non-transferable, this policy ensures that no one parent bears childcare's disproportionate weight. Icelandic fathers, globally ranked among the most engaged caregivers, stand as proof of a society reimagining traditional gender roles. In 2018, Iceland enacted a landmark law requiring employers to prove they pay men and women equally for the same work, a world first. This shifted the burden from employees to employers, making it systemic accountability rather than individual advocacy. Activists, let this be your goal, not just to illuminate inequality but to legislate against it. Affordable childcare and mandates for gender representation in leadership have opened doors for women at every level. Policies that revolutionize women's ability to balance career and family. Campaigning for such measures everywhere is a critical step toward replicating Iceland's success. Laws alone don't change minds. Movements do. Icelandic society shifted culturally thanks to education, representation, and unrelenting grassroots activism. Education. Iceland's schools promote gender equality from a young age, showing children a world of shared possibilities. This is proof that changing narratives starts in the classroom. Women in Iceland are visible in every sphere, from politics to sports and the arts. Representation stirs imagination, and imagination forges new realities. Iceland's feminist movements continue to challenge societal norms. Campaigns like #MeToo brought workplace harassment into the spotlight, while initiatives like #FreeTheNipple offered bold reminders of autonomy and body positivity. Activism thrives when it is grounded in the collective. Every hashtag, every march, and every raised voice furthers the fight for justice. Iceland may be a global symbol of equality, but the fight is far from over. Activists are all too aware that progress demands vigilance. Despite advancements, domestic and sexual violence remain issues of concern. Iceland's continued efforts towards stricter laws, support services for survivors, and public awareness echo a broader global fight. These problems remind activists of the need to dismantle not only legal, but cultural underpinnings of gender violence. While Iceland has narrowed the gender pay gap, disparities still linger in certain industries. Additionally, minority and immigrant women face compounded challenges. True equality requires addressing systemic discrimination across all intersections. Stay informed, build coalitions, challenge blind spots in equality movements. Iceland teaches us this. Activism that is intersectional is activism that succeeds. Iceland's journey toward gender equality proves one undeniable truth. Progress is within reach when individuals unite around a shared vision. From the suffragists of the early 20th century to the trailblazing organizers of the Women's Day Off, Iceland demonstrates that resilience and action create change. Their history serves as a guide for activists everywhere, a story of courage, strategic planning, and relentless hope. Today, Iceland stands as a global leader in equality, not because the work is done, but because they refuse to rest on their achievements. Their example pushes us to imagine, what could the world look like if we chose collective action, justice, and equity for all? Activists, here's the call to action. Let Iceland ignite your next movement. Together, like the women of Iceland proved, we can create a world where everyone thrives, one bold step at a time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to explore this story with me. If you found this video interesting or thought-provoking, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might enjoy it too. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on any future videos where we dive into intriguing mysteries, untold histories, and the wonders of the unknown.